Hey, there was I think there was. Oh, that's right. There was a football game last week, and I think, wasn't there?
The big game.
The big kahuna or something. I don't know. But as usual, every year we do kind of a critique in my office about the Super Bowl ads at the ad agency I work with. And we kind of critique the ads and see if money was well spent, money was wasted, or it was just like, what the F is going on? Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of get our perspective, since we both are designers and particularly ad designers, advertising. And so we wanted to kind of give our critique on what we thought was a good Super Bowl ad, what wasn't, was a waste of money, things like that. And we'll just kind of shoot from the hip here and have a good time with it. So here we go.
Let's go.
All right. Well, welcome to the Root Barn Podcast. We are a couple designers who thought we'd throw a podcast together because we're opinionated.
Because we have a voice.
We have a say-so on everything out there, and you can just take it and do with it what you want. But we are really, in particular, that's why we kind of started this podcast, is because we got things to say, or we'd like to have other people hear kind of another opinion on things, because you're getting bombarded by all sides of the media. And when I say all sides, I mean one side. With the mainstream media, and it's usually on the left Democrat-leaning side, because I don't know, they're all bought and paid for by Democrat donors and government.
Well, I mean, Doge would
Soros
suggest so.
Right. It's amazing the amount of money, and it's and speaking of Doge, real quick, because we'll tangent off on that real quick, is I just have to laugh at the people who are all up in arms that Elon Musk, who, by the way, wasn't elected, but then neither was Fauci, neither was Janet Yellen, or neither was Mayorkas, neither was a lot of these people.
All of them.
And I love how they go, oh, well, Elon wasn't elected. He's not accountable. Really? Christopher Wray, Merrick Garland, those guys, they weren't elected either.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's
exactly
on their side. It doesn't matter. No, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to bring it up. Right. But if it's on the right side, then they get on this talk track, and you've seen how they do this. They get on this talk track, and they stay on this minuscule point, scripted point that means nothing. It's right. Like, and they're like hanging their hat on it. It was like, I'm sorry to bring this back up, but it was like what what Cackles was running on. It was the DEI and the and the abortion thing. It's like, really? Like that's what those 2 points, like, and you're gonna try to shove that down everybody's throat.
Yeah.
And and really try to make a whole campaign off of that? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So this is why we wanted to start this. We also feel that the Republicans are a bunch of morons as well. They really are. And they can't get a message out, or at least in the past they haven't. But it's like Caroline Leavitt, 27-year-old press secretary. I mean, holy crap, is she blowing the doors off of Corinne Jean-Pierre?
Oh, dude.
And even Jen Psaki.
Yeah.
So she's at least trying to get the message out. All these guys are fine. They're trying to get the message. But that's what we started with here. So we wanted to offer our opinion, kind of give it like how if they would have just presented it this way, it would make more sense. Because I think the majority of the people out there are all kind of in agreement to about 70-80% of ideas and topics and policies. Mm-hmm. And it's just the fringe on the edges that people disagree with. But you know what? It's okay. I don't have to, like you said this analogy before, I don't have to like everything on the menu, but if the vast majority of the food is damn good, I'm going to probably continue eating at that restaurant. Right?
Exactly.
So, and I can't take credit for that analogy. That was Greg Gutfeld, I think, maybe done it. I can't remember. But anyway, I give him full credit, whoever it was, and I think it was Greg. But anyway. So that's why we started this. This is why we're going to put our opinion out. And I think, do you want to just say in the last probably 4 or 5 years, Super Bowl ads, which were usually stuff people look forward to. Remember Bud, Wise, the frogs, and they were classics. Remember all those?
Yeah, they were all smart and entertaining,
Yeah, you look forward to you're like, oh, commercial. Super Bowl ads, you're just, okay, that's pretty funny. All right, I like that. I like that good message out. And there's still virtue signaling going on out there, for the most part. But the last few years were just horrid. You're like, oh, news fast. Oh my God, here we go. Lecturing me while I'm trying to watch a football game about how I'm supposed to act in society, right?
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Well, and it just got too lectury. It got too, like they're trying to usher you in one way or another, and it's just kind of like, okay,
mold your thought process, like.
Well, and that was the whole thing. Like after the kneeling incident happened, I think a lot of NFL, enthusiasts. And maybe I'm just speaking about myself, but at the same time, I felt this with a lot of the circles that I would talk to. That it really, after that, when you try to mix those kind of messages into sports, it really leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, and a lot of people just stop watching and stop cheering and stop going to the games because it's like, no, I don't want to put up with that bullshit. Like this used to be fun.
Trying to escape that shit.
Exactly.
Just get away. That's why we go to movies. That's why we go to concerts. That's why we go somewhere else. So I don't have to be lectured and don't have to talk about the shit I don't want to talk about. It's like, oh my God, enough. Can I just get away for a minute? Just leave me the F alone so I can watch my game.
Unplug from the machine that's constantly trying to shove some sort of message down your throat. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Or down your throat. Whichever. It's all good. So anyway. So we have some stuff we want to kind of talk about here. And that stuff happens to be the Super Bowl ads for 2025. The Licks Super Bowl. Who said? Oh, Rob Gronkowski said Licks. Who was it that said Licks?
Yeah, I think it was Gronk.
It was probably Gronk. He's like, okay, I know he's joking around, but still, it's just kind of funny. So it's like, okay.
Well, it's funny, like the big oaf, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the big goofy guy who's just pretending he's more stupid than he really is, because he's not.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Anyway, let's start out with this one because you kind of remember. You remember the Carl's Jr. spots from years ago, and they had Paris Hilton was on there. Remember, she was in her little bikini. This is after she got her little tape out that got her a little more famous than she thought she'd ever be.
Credit for,
yeah. So here's the Super Bowl ad by this new gal. I guess she's an influencer and everything. And let's see where. There she is. And what is her name again? I'm trying to remember. It is Earl. Yeah. Amy, guys. Yeah. See, there was Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, were once a staple of that fast food franchise. But in 2017, they ditched it because they had so many people were complaining about the misogynistic, oh my God, we're using women, yada, yada, yada. It's like, oh my God, shut up. We're not using women. Sex sells. Sex is always sold in advertising. It's a staple of the business, staple of the industry. And guess what? It works.
It works. Yeah.
It works. It's Alex Earl.
Alex. Yeah, there you go.
Alex. Obviously, I don't know her. She's a cute gal. They've had cuter ones, in my opinion, but she is cute. So anyway, let's play this ad and see what people think of this.
Let's be real. Everyone's going to be a hot mess after the big game. Been there. Done that. And I've got just what you need to cure that post-party bug. The Carl's Jr. Hangover Burger. Egg, double bacon. Yeah, you need that double bacon. Charbroiled beef, hash browns, cheese, and sauce. Just the way I like it. And guess what? It's free the day after the big game. You just have to download the Carl's Jr. app and sign up for my rewards. So
did you sign up, by the way?
On Monday, February 10th.
No, I didn't. I should have.
I know, right? And it's like, damn it.
Well,
I'm just kidding. I did.
yeah, I totally missed this ad too. Like, it's one that I didn't see, but I mean, to Carl's Jr.'s, credit to them, they have a really good breakfast burger. I haven't tried that one. I don't. I guess this is the first release of the Hangover burger.
Yeah,
but it's.
I like a few years after the franchise series. It's
yeah,
classic.
I think it's a nice, a blatant message. You know what I mean?
There wasn't any symbolism going on in the commercial at all with that sauce flying out or something like that. I didn't notice anything.
You know what's funny to me, and this might be, aging myself, but what does she influence? She's an influencer. What does she influence? Maybe I should look it up, do a little bit of research.
Well, I'd like to think that you and I are fairly on top of most of the stuff going on out there, and we know quite a few people who are influencers. I mean, not personally, of course, but just know of them. And I've never heard of her before, and I just thought this was some gal they had. I didn't know who she was, and I guess maybe we can look it up. Maybe while I get this other commercial up here, you can look that up real quick for me and see what she's on. But I think that was like, bravo. Good job, Carlos, for bringing back what worked for you, because I think I remember driving by Carl's later that day, and I think I was getting dinner for my wife, and oddly enough, she didn't want the Hangover burger for dinner, so I was getting something else. And the line around at the Carl's Jr. that night was at least 10 cars deep, which usually you see a couple cars in the drive-through line and stuff like that. And I just had to laugh. I'm like, oh, everybody's getting their free Hangover burger. So it seems to have worked, at least from this Carl's Jr.'s perspective.
Well, I'm sure that, it was probably a good plug. It was probably great business for them. You know what I mean? For that the day after. So cheers to them for that.
Good job, Carl's. Way to go. Now, this next commercial spot, this one, I want to get your feedback on it because I have mine and it's interesting. So let's check this out. This is Coffee Mate.
Let's go, tongues. I'm a dancing tongue, and I like to taste your cold fall. Have you ever seen a tongue do this? Yeah, Coffee Mate. Give me coffee, give me coffee. Everybody now. Give me coffee, give me coffee.
Okay, so what do you think of that one?
That was creepy. I remember, during the game,
exactly.
I walked in at the end of that one, and I was like, what in the hell is going on? Yeah, that one, I think it was a little more abstract than I was ready for, but the whole tongue thing and then them doing the whole squirt, I don't know. It was really weird and just...
Is this totally going for a Gen Z demographic on this or something?
I think so.
Or millennial. Yeah. I don't get it. I think this was horrible. I understand the creativity. It sure stands out in your head. You remember, but I'm sorry. After seeing this, okay, first of all, I'll never buy Coffee Mate. Personally.
Yeah, well, it's just horrible for you.
My wife finally saw that hydrogenated vegetable oil is what they like. Yeah, honey. Yeah. I used to drink those, throw them in our coffee with the flavorings and stuff like that. Then I tasted side by side that and real cream, and I just about hurled, going, "Oh my god, I was drinking that shit."
Right?
I mean, we're obviously not going to get any sponsor from Coffee Mate, but that's okay. I don't care. I wouldn't want to have that be a sponsor on my show anyway. Okay. Even if we got lucky enough to have a sponsor.
Well, and now, so it's like whipped cream. Is that something. What it is now? Like that's the kind of container.
Yeah, like Cool Whip that you put on your pie,
you just down in
your mouth.
Cool Whip it into your coffee. That's,
or as my niece like we used to say, Cool Whip. Cool Whip. It's pretty funny. It's like, oh my god, what? Anyway, that was probably one of the worst spots. Trying to be creative, trying to be funny, That is not something that I would have presented to a client. And if I were the client, I would have been like, "You're fired.
What are we doing here?" Yeah.
You're seriously, you're fired. You're fired.
I get like the party in your mouth thing, but when well, I have to.
Of course we do.
When we talk to clients, and this happens to us all the time, we really have to wrangle stuff in because not every idea is a good idea.
Yeah.
And people don't
stand out from the crowd.
Yeah,
they're standing out from the crowd, and then there's a fucking zit on your forehead, dude. Right on the edge of your nose. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, dude, it's like a clown suit, in the middle of a funeral. Like there's some things you just don't do,
Right. And that one you don't do. That one you don't.
No, you don't do that one. That was a miss.
Yeah. Now, this next one is kind of interesting, and you'll see it. But I also have a couple questions on it too, as they put it together, because although it is kind of weird and different, it certainly stands out, and yet it's certainly weird. But I think the demographic they were going for, or that they do go for, do they even know who this guy is? And I'm talking Seal.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I thought this was kind of funny, kind of clever, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, the demographic they're going, is this Seal? Do they know who Seal is?
Know who Seal is? Yeah.
This guy was like famous in the 90s, before these people were even born, and they don't listen to this type of music all the time. Don't get me wrong. But anyway, let's jump into this and see. I don't know if this is the long one. I'll mention it, but anyway, let's play this one here.
Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Refreshing.
It's kissed by the perfect amount of tropical lime.
Yeah, this is creepy.
I know. Oh my God. I mean, it's hilarious if you know who he is and you look at this.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. But yeah, a little creepy. I mean, that's funny right there. This is hilarious. Isn't it?
There is so much as you can tell you, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my fame.
Well, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Mountain Dew
Yeah, pretty
Baja
much.
Blast, a blast of tropical lime. Good looking Seal.
Yeah, I think that
Weird. Funny.
I think like the second verse, they didn't need it. You know what I mean? I think after the zoom in and you saw that he was actually like put whiskers on it was kind of creepy. But you're right, like that demographic doesn't know who that is. And we were sitting there, and one of my daughters, the older one, she loves her Baja Blast, right?
Yeah.
And I don't let her I don't let her drink it too often, but when I do, also I do the zero sugar, right?
Yeah.
And so she's sitting down and she's like, "Oh, it's Baja Blast commercial." She's sitting down like dumbfounded.
Like,
and
what?
she's like,
I don't get it.
Who is that?
Yeah.
And she's 12, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, you missed the boat. Like, no pun intended, but you missed the boat on your demographic there. It was just weird.
See, we're not the demographic, but we totally get this. And again, like I said, I think it's hilarious. I think, I don't know how drunk or high these guys were when they were thinking this up, but they had to have been something. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And I sit there like, okay, that's hilarious. I think I would have to be drunk or high to put this as an idea out there. Like, what if we? And I'm sure some idiot came up with something that was in it, and all of a sudden now the ideas start bouncing off that we're nuts.
Well, we should do this. We should do that.
Yeah.
And I think that everybody's swinging for the fences for the next instant classic.
Right.
You know what I mean? And maybe this sounded a lot better on paper, but when they actually produced it, you're like, dang. I don't
mean,
know if we should
I
even go
chuckle.
this route.
I chuckle. I think, okay, A for effort, execution. I mean, I think they did a great job blending his face in with the actual seal and things like that. But I think they completely missed their demographic. The people who drink Mountain Dew, Diet Mountain Dew, whatever, are not people who are really older, except on occasion. I mean, I enjoy a Mountain Dew like once a year or every other year, maybe. And that's only, if there's like nothing else, oh man, that does sound good. But for 99% of the time, I'm just like, whatever.
Well, and we're adults. Like, we don't live on soda
Yeah.
anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess
Well, I hardly ever drink soda, except it has a little vodka in it. But anyway.
But you can tell that this whole spot came from that tagline. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Kiss from a line, right? And they're like, how do we do this? How do we show this? And whoever's bright idea to pair the Seal song, whoever's bright idea that was, then it just snowballed pretty much out of control from there. In the, you know what I mean? In the meeting room, and people are just throwing shit on the board, seeing what sticks.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, you and I have been in meetings like that, and we're just like,
Yeah.
shit, the brainstorming sessions can be fun and then sometimes a little disturbing, and then you're like, oh, can that really work though? Man, I don't know.
Well, those meetings are a lot of fun. I mean, you throw out you throw out everything so you can weed out the good and the bad, and we have a lot of good laughs, and it's fun. And then you kind of, you go down an idea path, and it's like, okay, yeah, no, we're gonna fall off there, we're gonna fall off there, okay, and then this stuff just gets erased off the board. A lot of it, you know what I mean? And what sticks is the really good stuff. And it's
apparently this is the really good stuff.
Right?
Except for the demographic they were trying to hit. But anyway, I digress.
I don't know.
No, I mean, the Seal's probably one of the greater songwriters out there. I mean, if you really listen to his soundtrack, his music, his albums, you're gonna hear depth in the music that is beyond any of the shit that they write today. Taylor Swift songs. Sorry, Swifties, not a fan. Talented, but not a fan. And if you listen to what he puts into his lyrics, into his melodies, into his harmonies, into his just the composition of the whole song put together, and songs, because he does a lot of them that are freaking fantastic. I love Seal. I love his albums. They're awesome. But unless you are teen to 20, maybe you're hitting the upper 30-year-olds. Most of the upper 30s, 40s, and 50s, this is their demographic, but they're not the ones that are drinking Mountain Dew in the quantities that you want to sell them.
Yeah, right?
So, great idea. Fairly well executed. The lyrics were hilarious that they changed them into. But the demographic has no idea who the F this guy is and what it's all about. And they just see it as some dude.
Yeah.
So maybe they hit it. In our opinion, I don't think they would have, and I would have explained to the clients, like, well, that's not your demographic. Nobody knows who this guy is. Sorry, guys. Well, it won't matter. I mean, you can hear the feedback you're gonna get from this shit.
Right.
Anyway, all right, let's move on. So, Little Caesars used one of the funnier guys, and if you ever watched, well, you'd have to be a little bit older to watch the SNL takeoff from Chicago, which is called Second City. Second City TV is where Eugene Levy started. He and then another gal. I can't remember her name. Anyway, it'll hit me later. Like John Candy came from there. Eugene Levy, Dave Thomas. All these people, and I'll mention it, but they all came from Second City TV. And so anyway, Eugene's famous for his eyebrows, and you'll see right here as I bring this up. And this and the Pringles commercial where they played off the mustache.
Yeah, the mustache.
Remember that? Flying away. So what I'd like to know is who did corporate sabotage on their on their competitors. Who came up with the idea first and happened to, well, let's have a mustache fly away. Let's have the eyebrows fly away. I mean, little too similar, right? It's just like, all right. There's some sabotage going on here, but let's check this out and see what you think of this one.
All right, Little Caesar's Crazy Puffs. Whoa!
And there they go. I don't know.
Oh, is this little Becky?
Birthday cake comes in. It is so cute. My dad's eating Crazy Puffs again. Don't ask.
Whoa. Have you tried the new bacon ones?
There are bacon ones?
Little Caesars.
I thought that one was. I liked it. I thought it was. It wasn't overdone,
Right.
and it was well done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And the only thing is, I saw the Pringles spot first,
Oh,
and then I saw this one. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Because I noticed a theme. It was like the UFOs, alien theme, and then there was this, body elements, not parts, but doing weird things.
yeah.
And stuff like that. And so I was starting to think, okay, is it that everybody kind of was down the same wavelength on spots for this year? And so they're, what if we had the mustache fly off? Or what if we had the eyebrow? Oh, we can have Eugene, let me do this. You know what I mean? And so I started thinking, but no, I do think this was pretty funny. I think he was very subtle and it wasn't over the top with it. And so that made it much better than it could have been. It could have been horrible if he overplayed the thing.
Right, and that's exactly right, because Eugene Levy, whether you love him or hate him, you love him because he overacts a little bit, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you hate him because he overacts a little bit. I'm right down the middle of him. I really like him in his latter years, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I wasn't a huge fan when I was younger, you know what I mean? And he was younger, and he was doing like that Second City stuff. It wasn't my favorite, actor, but of sorts. But you're right. I think he played it just perfectly. Didn't overdo it. Mm-hmm. Left some humor in there. They threw his daughter in there. I mean, that was a win.
Yeah, I agree, and I think. Let me see if I can try to pull up the Pringles ad just to give a back-to-back here, because it was, as you look at it, you're just like, okay, well, which was the chicken and which one was the egg in this case?
Yeah.
And
I'm kind of wondering the same thing, because it's like they were so similar that it's like, well, did the same freaking ad company do both ads? You know what I mean?
Well, and that would be stupid too. I mean,
it would be. They
did do that, like, oh wow, you guys couldn't come up with an original idea, huh? Interesting.
You think maybe Caesars and Pringles have the same parent company?
Right. Right. Exactly. So here, we'll play this one and see what you think, because this was the back-to-back that really was interesting. And like I said, I saw this one first, and I'm like, okay, maybe we're being a little clever. I don't know. Let's check this out.
We're out of Pringles.
Just blow in the can. Do it.
Good luck making that sound. Do we cut out of their can, by the way?
I'd like to thank our fans.
Yeah, it's different. He looks without a mustache.
Seriously.
Are those mustaches?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go to the store.
I think you got my.
I like it.
I liked that one. They could have chose a different, a better tune for it, I think. But
Yeah.
but all in all, I mean that logo has been a staple for
Forever.
I was gonna look it up, but yeah, I mean, for as far back as you can remember, it's the mustache guy in the Pringles. You know what I mean?
Right.
So to play off that, I think was smart.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. When I saw the two kind of back to back, I was just like, because I liked that one. I liked the Pringles mustache ad. And it was like, okay, that's kind of cute. Again, the song, like you're saying, is like, whatever. But I think that once I saw the other one with the eyebrows and this Little Caesars with Eugene Levy, I was just like, okay, what's going on? Why are we getting so many of the same similar themes? There was nothing original about it. Oh, well, it's a mustache, not the eyebrows. So it's totally different. No, it's still facial hair, but okay.
Yeah, it's still facial hair. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. So it was just like, okay, all right, guys, come on. So that was the only thing. That's the thing that kind of tainted me against kind of both of them, in the fact that since we had two that were so similar in that respect, which one did I like better? I don't know. Do you like Little Caesars better than you like Pringles? It comes down, I guess, to it.
Yeah, did it make me want to buy Pringles? Not really. I mean, they're good chips, but they're not my favorite. Same thing with Caesars. Like when I'm gonna get pizza, there's a little like a family owned pizza shop, just in the next town over that I go to, because they have great pizza. Will I eat Little Caesars if it's there? Yeah, probably. And but
I'm in a pinch.
It's not my first choice, and that commercial isn't going to make it my first choice. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Oh no, I'm because of the eyebrows. Little Caesars tonight. Yeah. No, I just so that was my big thing on that was like, oh, man, they were. If it was only one of them that came out in the Super Bowl this year, I probably would think a little different. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that's clever. But then once the second one came out, you're just like, and if the second one didn't come out till like now, a week later, a month later, you would copycats. You copycats, come up with something original, losers.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. But you're the people who are producing the Super Bowl show, like the whole behind the scenes is like, you would think that they would have told them, okay, well, you guys both have these ads with facial hair flying around. We're gonna pick this one and the other one. Sorry.
Yeah.
And you're right. It would have had to run, a week later or a couple days later, and they would have been labeled as the copycat. So who was the copycat, in the Super Bowl?
Because somebody could have produced one before the other, and the other just got out first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But at the same time, that never would have happened, because nobody's going to turn down $8 million for a 30-second spot. Which is what they were this year. Remember when they were like $2.5 million for a 30-second spot several years ago? It's $8 million to run one ad for 30 seconds during the Super Bowl.
That's crazy, dude.
And
30-second spot.
And they didn't think that it was going to be a blowout game, because usually if it's a close game, the fourth quarter ads are usually the rock'em sock'em, the big boys. Sometimes it's the ones right before the half. Sometimes it's right after the half. But sometimes the fourth quarter, because if it's close, those ads are going to really draw, because everybody's getting pumped up. Well, this year,
people are sitting there.
We know what happened. And thank God the Chiefs got blown away. Anyway, but that's just
yes.
Anyway, good for you, Eagles. Like the mayor says, let's go, Eagles. EGSLS or something. I can't remember what she said, but oh my God, it's hard to spell Eagles. It's a hard word,
especially when you're pumping up the crowd.
Right. Yeah. That's great. She's awesome. Way to go, Mary. Doing great. All right, so here's the next one. This is our good buddy Harrison talking about Jeep. Let's check this one out.
Longest thing we ever do is
live our lives. But life doesn't come with an owner's manual.
And sometimes it like
Might have
doesn't
been
even
nice,
sound
huh?
like him in this commercial.
But that means
Yeah,
we write our own stories.
AI dubbed this over. I don't know.
Freedom is yes or no or maybe. Freedom is for everybody, but it isn't free. It's earned. There are real heroes in the world, but not the ones in the movies. Real heroes are humble. They're not driven by pride. Pride is a terrible driver. Freedom is the roar of one man's engine and the silence of another's. Freedom is the ability to inspire. The most
Jeeps should
sacred
not
thing
be
in
electric.
life isn't the path.
No.
It's the freedom to choose it. You don't have to be friends with someone to wave at them.
I will
We won't
say they
always
do.
agree on
Owners
which way
wave
to go.
to each other all.
But our differences can be our strength. So choose, but choose wisely. Choose what makes you happy. My friends, my family, my work make me happy. This Jeep makes me happy.
Why? Because it's
Even though my
electric.
name is. That's my owner's manual. Get out there. Write your own.
What did you think?
I liked it and didn't like it. And I'll tell you why. I thought it was first of all, too somber for a while in the Super Bowl. You're supposed to keep things kind of pumped up, like funny. Low energy, oddly enough, for an EV. And I don't think Jeeps should be EVs, first of all.
No, they lost
That
me
is
when
just
they did that
wrong.
shit.
That is just
Completely
wrong.
lost me.
And you can disagree with me, throw it in the comments. Like, no, I think Jeeps are great as electric vehicles. Okay, awesome. You can go get one. That's awesome. I just think, this thing is like driving away down the pathway. And I'm making a lot more noise than it did. They can stick around. The best part of the ad was at the very end, even though last name is Ford.
Yeah.
I have a Jeep. That was clever, and that was a good jab against the Ford, and I love it. That's the part I loved. The rest of it, kind of hard. It's nice, heartwarming. I just thought it was just too slow.
Yeah. Well, and then they snuck that, that piece by where it passed the Bronco.
Oh.
But
Which is fine.
And they're competing. You know what I mean? Now that Bronco brought out the 4-door again.
Yeah.
4-door. That's their main competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That the 4Runner. You know what I mean? The 4Runner's always been there. Same sort of SUV type thing, off-roady and all that. Jeep's kind of held its own though, and I kind of never considered a Jeep until they did the 4-door. You know what I mean? And people were lifting them, and then you put the 37s on them and all that. They were badass.
Customizing them.
Pretty cool.
Left and right. Yeah.
Yeah, and people have always rock climbed and stuff with them. I thought that was pretty cool. But, as far as like the driving that I need to do, Jeep just really wasn't an answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Plus, they get really shitty gas mileage.
That's what I hear. But I think
really
you're
do.
right. I think that was clever, but it was really slow, and it took a long time for it to land its own plane.
Yeah, we were cruising. We were gliding in for a landing, and we kept getting updrafts and kept the plane up there for a little. Oh no, we're not going to land yet. Oh no, yeah, a little slow. So, but overall, for a normal commercial, great. Super Bowl commercial, a little tepid, in my opinion. All right, you ready for a creepy one?
Yes, please.
Okay, another creepy one. I'm sure you've seen this one. And this again, like,
yeah, right. So I got it. Well, hear me out. Hear me out.
You guys got to hear this. This is going to be cool. I swear to God, this is the best. Come on. No, listen to what I'm going to say. Check this out. All right. So it's, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I don't think I have the actual commercial of this, but you look at it, you're like, okay, this is weird. Then you realize it's his head is the whole hat.
Yeah.
You're like, what the freak is going on with these freaks? If you didn't see this, and we're like, oh, you know, and it's the whole, I'm different. And then he finds all these, cowboys going to a concert, wearing their cowboy hats, and now he fits in.
Yeah.
So some sort of, social justice kind of ad put in there, and it's like, oh my God. I didn't care for it at all. I'm just like, this would be like, nope, never mind. I'm done. Nerdist. I guess that's just the guy who put it in there. But I can't even remember what the spot was for. If we find it, I'll drop it in here.
I think he's gonna like Westerns. But what if Westerns aren't hot when he grows up?
Nobody watches Westerns, dork. Good thing we were born to like fantasy. It's the hit genre to binge.
Mr. Memo, tumbleweed, pop culture likes pirates now.
Hey, the zeitgeist always shifts.
It's all about gangster films now. Yo, vampires, baby.
Howdy. This ain't you, partner. Like what you like.
It's something you wanted to forget about, so you don't even remember what they were trying to sell.
Yeah, no, it was just like, what in the hell is going on?
Yeah, that one made my stomach turn.
All right, so I've got another really creepy one for you, and this one, and you'll see the second, the split. I mean, sorry, the nanosecond. That's it. The nanosecond comes on the screen. You're gonna know why it's creepy. Let's check this out. Oh.
Like they led with that.
Because I just want to hurl at anything Pfizer, because anything Pfizer comes out with is a joke anymore, and I think I don't want any part of doing anything with Pfizer. I don't care what kind of drugs it's going to save my life. If it's from Pfizer, I'm not taking it ever. Sorry. They lied to us and screwed everybody out of a lot of things. So let's check this out just to see how El Creepo this one is.
I got my together. I got my together.
The whole class knows I got my together.
Just say it. You can get your shots together too. Your COVID-19 shot and your flu shot at the same visit as recommended by the CDC.
I got
Where's Travis Kelce?
Together, dude. Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
COVID-19 is nothing anymore, people. Fuck, stop.
Are you getting your together?
Sorry,
I mean, it was a clever ad, but at the same time,
they tried to make it cool.
Yeah, I'm on board with you. That whole thing is like, what you lied so bad.
You destroyed people's lives. You destroyed businesses.
Right.
And Fauci, by the way, unelected, destroyed lives all around the world and forced people to do things they never should have ever done ever in the history of everness.
Agreed. I got into that argument with my ex-wife again this weekend because I'm getting some exemptions. You know what I mean, for the girls, for school, for the rest of the time that they're in school, and she's against it. She's like, "Well, do you know why some of these diseases don't exist anymore? Because of vaccines." I was like, "Well, fine. I was like, when they get to the age where they can decide whether they want to take it or not,
right,
then that's their choice, right? But for me, being in control of that right now, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. The science is proven that it's garbage.
Well, I just love the whole thing about science. When how many scientists argue with each other about their theories, about their scientific findings, and even later on as we go, then more information comes out, and then all of a sudden everybody who agreed at a certain point realized, oh, wait a minute, maybe that wasn't right. So,
well, and they didn't know because they didn't have time to test it, and the tests they said they did do were bullshit. You know what I mean? They were lies.
You don't need to test if it's fine. Just get it out there. Just
sprinkle a little bit of this in there. We sprinkled a little bit of that, and you just go for it.
And mind you, this is our opinion only. I mean, I'm sure the vaccines are safe and effective, and all the shit we're supposed to say for YouTube because they don't understand. They're following bought and paid for organizations like the World Health Organization and the CDC, thinking that is the law of the land, law of the universe. You know, it's like, stop. If I want to take it, I'll take it. Don't force it on me. Don't force it on me or anybody else.
Or my children. And don't try to fearmonger us into it. Stop it.
Yeah, that's
you know
all
what
they
I
did.
mean? Stop
all
it.
they did was fearmonger us.
That's
the only way they can get anything going. So,
of course, this is just our opinion, and for entertainment reasons.
We may be right. We may be wrong. We may be crazy, but that's our opinion.
And we're sticking to it.
We're sticking to it. Sons of bees. All right. Now, I never saw this ad because I think I wasn't at every commercial break. I don't even know if this ran. I don't remember this unless this was in the very beginning. But this one, I'm surprised Tom Cruise wasn't in. Let me show you why. All right. So then this pops up, and we'll play this.
From the first stirrings of wonder, in the first sparks of curiosity, there was a question older than humanity, deeper than any language ever conceived, more powerful than all the weapons and armies of the world. More elusive than the farthest extremes of exploration. Tantalizing, but out of reach for all generations. But what if the answer was never there at all? What if the answer to every secret of the universe was not at the edges of the earth or at the ends of the stars, but within you, waiting to be unlocked?
Nope, I am not curious one iota.
Well, this is the thing too. It's like I don't know if you saw this Pete Holmes special. He was on Pete Holmes. If you guys don't know, he's a comedian. But it's basically, he's talking about nothingness and God, and whatever side you believe in, whatever kind of road you want to go down on that one, more power to you. You know what I mean? No love lost either way, for anybody as far as that goes. But I believe what I believe. But he brings up a really good point, and this is kind of the same thing that made me really kind of trigger with the Scientology. It's like, okay, yeah, really, it kind of like they're saying the answer is within you.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, it doesn't have to say it's on a physical molecular level, and that's where life comes from and all that kind of stuff. Like like backing the Big Bang Theory or something like that. But at the same time, I mean, nothing just happens by accident, right? I mean, there had to be some sort of something that put the wheels in motion, whether it be God, whether it be nothingness, put it all into motion. I don't know, you know what I mean? Depending on what you believe, but something started the wheels in motion. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And,
well,
and
that's where faith comes in.
Exactly. And that's where people build faith, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of funny because that whole the whole message they were putting out there kind of said, you got to believe in something. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. But just like anything else, their message is good, but the product is not.
It's terrible. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like, you know, the Inflation Reduction Act sounds great.
Right.
Planned Parenthood really should not be Planned Parenthood. It should be Planned No Parenthood.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's really what they, so when they say the same thing here, it's the same concept. It's great message. Kind of agree with it because it's a universal topic, universal subject, universal agreement, or universal, you know, thought that everybody kind of has, but the product itself is just shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was produced very well, well. But here you go again. Here's something wrapped up in this pretty little package.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's how they get you. You know what I mean?
Well,
a lot of the time,
make it sound very good.
Yeah, when people aren't doing the thinking for themselves, you know.
Just remember, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
That's so good,
right?
So good.
There you go. All right, so then we got into some AI ads, and I haven't seen this one. I don't remember this one, but this is kind of interesting. Let's see. Is this the future of advertising? Oh, God, please no. Please no. Let's check this out. There's a very silent sound.
It's not something that happens. It takes time, effort.
Or maybe it just takes a giant phone call and an AI that handles all of your business's phone calls. You deserve better than 4-hour hold time.
I hope you can hear this. It's very low.
I can, yeah.
Give me a ring at 415-480-0000. Let's make calls perfect. Callblam.com.
Wow.
I don't remember seeing that at all.
I don't remember seeing it either, but I thought it was funny. I remember seeing it after, you know, as I started going down this rabbit hole to prep for, you know, these shows. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was funny. I really enjoyed the comedy in it, and this kind of hits close to home for us. Because this whole AI thing coming out really, like, we're like, what does this mean for career working designers? You know what I mean?
Could be good, could be bad, could be a help, might not be. Yeah.
And that's kind of thing. It's like, can we use it as helpers? And then as it develops, you can see the imperfections in it, and it's like, okay, well, it's not going to take my job for probably another 15-20 years, and by then hopefully I'm not having to work like this, you know what I mean?
Right and that's the thing. It's kind of a double-edged sword. Is it something that is it something that's going to really help, or is it something that's going to take away from what we do? And you know, it's and that's a little unnerving but you still have to have the creativity.
You do, and that's what's lost when you take the human element out of it. You lose the creativity, and you lose the heart and soul out of it. You know what I mean? Because you can tell when something had been done with AI, it's just cold and it's very impersonal. And this is kind of the funny thing too with that. I've had to redraw like 4 logos from AI programs because they come in I don't know if our audience knows this, but if you know, a little designer nerd talk, they come in a raster format. They don't come in a vector format. So when you go to enlarge them and print them and do all the fun stuff everybody wants to do with their logo, you can't. It's just this small thing. It's low quality, and it ends up being okay. Well, it's cool on the computer, but really, and it serves no real place in a daily application, because it's kind of like you can't do anything with it. So I've seen actually that kind of help us, because they were projects that I wouldn't have had otherwise. You know what I mean? Which is, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not mad about that. But a lot of this thing too is people go crazy with the Chat GPT and they just create this wild stuff. Some of this fantastical stuff is really pretty and really nice and funny and cool, but you can't do anything with it. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
It's hard to sell a product with it.
Exactly. So I'm going to kind of end this on these last two because we can go on and on and on, and this could go on for 3 hours. But this kind of gives. I'm just trying to get an overall view. And yes, there are lots of ads that are missed that I didn't get to, but maybe we'll do a follow-up and do a second one. I don't know yet, but we'll see. So these are the last two that I kind of go with. And the reason I'm doing it is because you have the battle between Ben Affleck good friends who love to tease each other and give each other shit. And in that regard, it's hilarious. But you let me know which of these two ads you like better and why. And then let's just start with this one and see what you think of this. And we'll right after that.
Java Chat, Battle of the Coffee Brand Bands.
This ain't the Dunkings. Where the hell are Matt and Tom?
Forget them suckers. Matt Damon and Tom Brady don't have the heart of a champion. We got a new squad, Dunkin sequel. Affleck's and Belichick. Dunkings! A little more spirit on the, on the charge next time. We got a fourth Dunkin too coming.
Belichick and his girlfriend, 25 years old.
Oh my God.
Hey man,
Is that coffee? What are you doing in there?
I'm just trying to find the character.
We got to battle the barista buds.
I'm all in for Dunkin.
You should have paid for Matt.
I told you that.
Dunkings about to get
roasted.
Like a dark seasonal roast with coriander and slight balsamic drizzle.
Sounds like what's in my garbage disposal.
See you, coach. How much to wait a half hour to get my name spelled wrong on the cup?
Nobody wants a goat milk double half calf soy milk cap. You could just brew it. It's beans and water.
Oh, damn. Listen, Dunkin's for all of you. America runs on Dunkin.
Feel free. Give me your comment on that one.
I thought you were going to run them back to back.
Oh, yep. Let's just do
let's do that, and then we'll do the comparison.
Okay, all right, totally do that. All right, let's check this out.
Mom, Dad?
We have something to tell you. You have a twin brother we never told you about.
I'm sorry. So? What's his name?
Other David.
You called him Other David?
There's two Davids. One has to be Other David.
Where is he?
Left him in America.
Are you...
Beckham. Dave Beckham.
No way.
Hey, what'd you say your name was?
David.
Try one of these. That is the best buffalo wing in the county.
You eat buffalo?
No, it's just chicken. It was invented in Buffalo, the city.
So it's not buffalo.
You all right, man?
Still got it? Guys, sorry, it's a thing I do.
You drink Stella?
I have taste, David.
There's something I have to tell you.
My brother is a famous soccer player?
Yeah.
So how famous are you? Like Matt Damon famous?
Maybe Ben Affleck famous.
That's a shame.
Okay.
So my take on it, I liked the Matt Damon one a lot better. Because,
yes, I agree.
Because
it's much more clever.
Yeah. But not only that, he was very likable in it. He was a very likable character. He seemed down to earth.
He just seems like a real guy.
Yes, exactly. Like your
like a caricatured Ben Affleck did in Dunkin.
Exactly. Like Ben Affleck is like your neighbor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Ben Affleck really.
You mean Matt Damon, your neighbor?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to clarify, make sure people aren't confused like me out there. So, I agree.
And you're right. The caricature that Ben Affleck put on was way overdone. And when I think of coffee, I don't think of Ben Affleck. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
but I will say Dunkin' does have good coffee. Just saying. They do have pretty good coffee for a donut shop.
Yeah, I used to like Dunkin' a lot when I drank coffee. I can't really drink it anymore, but yeah, it was one of my favorites, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I love the coffee and donuts thing. It's just always been a staple. So I mean, one fell swoop.
I love the subtle jab. You know, like Matt Damon famous or Ben Affleck. Oh
yeah. No, it's too bad.
I mean, it's just a funny a ribbing that they give each other. Although Ben was trying to put more of it, we should have hired Matt to be in our ad. Whereas Matt was like, oh no, I don't want Ben in my ad.
Yeah. And poking fun at the fame. Yeah, I love it.
I thought personally that was probably one of my more favorite Super Bowl ads was the Stella Artois ad.
So just for I guess my entertainment, can we do one more?
Sure.
Can we do the Bud Light one?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me just bring that up because it was probably in the X, but we're going to do that with Shane Gillis and Toasty.
Yeah, and I want to preface this by saying Bud Light has really struggled for the last what was it, 4 years, 3 years, 4 years?
4 years
after that woke campaign that they did, and it just I mean I get where they were coming from, but it just fell so flat on its face that you know that they really had I think at least they really had a hard time bringing the man's man and the backyard dad back to their product. You know what I mean?
Well, and then they tried and made men look freaking stupid and moronic, walking on hot pavement with bare feet. It's like, and then, Travis Kelce's making all the noises as he grunts and sits down. And it's just like, what kind of bullshit is that? You're making these, the beer drink, like look like idiots. I mean, yes, a lot of them are, but you don't want to portray them as that. That's your demographic.
That's your demographic, and you're
going to piss off your demographic.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's ridiculous. So no, I agree. This is probably the other one that was really good, and I think you've all seen it, and I think you all can agree this was pretty good.
Absolutely.
I got a colonoscopy tomorrow.
Colonoscopy.
Fellas, I accidentally threw a lame party.
Okay, Ted.
They're on their way.
They're here. You call this a party? Cul-de-sac party. Launch. These beers are a metaphor for an invitation.
Is that our leaf blower?
Party sack.
You are cordially invited to the end of the cul-de-sac.
Take a second, think about it.
Your mower smokes meat?
Oh, a smoker cuts grass.
Hell yeah.
I spend most of my money on this. New rig? Fully custom. How many Bud Lights can you fit in that puppy? As many Bud Lights as it takes. A lot of Bud Lights.
See the watch he was wearing, the little Casio.
Yeah.
Bill, get off the boat. The HOA's already breathing down my neck.
I absolutely love Shane Gillis. He's one of my favorite comics.
Well, we showed him on the Christmas spots about how that. Remember when they were trying to bring it back and he was in the wrong commercial?
It
was for Bud Light, and that was the beginning. I think you're right. I think they're going to have a series that Shane Gillis is going to be the new face of Bud Light.
The new Bud Light spokesman. And if they haven't already made him an offer to do that, they need to. Because he's an ordinary guy, but he's so likable and he's so funny. And Post Malone has become a lot more likable in guys circles now. That I think it was a great pair, and I think they've always done ads for them. But really, you're right. I think these two, as the official spokesman, like for the next 5 years at least, if they don't do that, then they're missing the boat.
The gal that they had, the marketing gal, I think made the whole thing worse with the Dylan Mulvaney thing and the whole getting away from it. When you heard that interview where she was saying, well, we want to get away from the frat boy image and the blah, 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 and all the other shit that she was saying, really turned everybody off and made it worse. Now, I don't know how quickly Bud Light will be able to recover from all that, because I think a lot of people are done no matter what. I'll enjoy the ads. I think Bud Light is just shit beer, and if it's the only thing there, maybe I'll have it.
Yeah, I still have friends that that swear by it, right? I was never a huge fan to begin with, so I'm on the same page as you. It's like, I love the advertising, but it's not going to make me buy the beer because it's not my brand. And if you're a beer drinker, you know what that statement means. You know what I mean? But like, I have a couple friends that swear by it, and you know, if I run out of the beer that I bring to their party, and
that's all
they have left is the Bud Light, I'm not, you know, beggars can't be choosers. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So yeah, so I think, you know, will this improve sales for Bud Light? I think absolutely. You can't get any worse than you are. I mean, you're at rock bottom right now.
Yeah.
So anything's going to improve it, but you're certainly not going to damage the brand any further than you already have. Right. But I think this is what has been needed. This is what will put Bud Light over Modelo in the next little while. I think Bud Light will come back from this. They don't have me, just because I don't care for the beer, and I don't really drink too much beer anymore. It's just too bloaty. And it's tough. I mean, I can't drink more than a beer or two, and I'm like, oh. So I don't drink a whole lot of beer much anymore, and I love beer. I love a good microbrew. I love a good Guinness. I love a good porter and stuff. Anyway, but if I'm going to drink beer, that's what it's going to be, not Bud Light.
Yeah, you're not going to waste your beer space in your gut.
I want Bud Light to continue doing these commercials, because this right here is gold for Bud Light right now.
Well, you brought up a really good point at the beginning of the show, that bringing the manly man back is something that it really started to come with Trump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You bring Uncle T in, and then all of a sudden, you know, here's the toxic male. You know what I mean? He's back. You know what I mean?
Everything's back. Everything's toxic. Everything. Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, you know what? We weren't toxic. We were just dudes like that.
Yeah.
In jean shorts, drinking beers in the driveway. Like, there was nothing wrong with that. You were telling us, you know, your advertising was telling us that we were bad.
Right.
And men were bad, and to be a man was bad, and to have male thoughts was bad, you know, and
be a boy.
Yeah. And that really kind of, you know, tainted, you know, the thought about men in general, but advertising like this just kind of, it's very fresh take again on just being a man. It's being a dude, you know?
Being a dude. Exactly. And that's a nice thing to see. And I think you ask most women out there, your wives of friends and things like that, I guarantee you they want a masculine man around, a man's man, a dude, not a dick, but a dude, a good guy, a man who's strong, who can do things, who can fix shit around the house. Of course, we're supposed to know how to fix everything, but hey, but
well, thank God for YouTube, right?
No shit. So that was the one theme I think we had in here is we're bringing men back. We're bringing manly men. We're bringing humor. I think that libs and Dems and leftists don't really have senses of humor whatsoever, because you couldn't say jokes. I think you're going to see comedians start saying jokes. The best jokes are the ones that make you go, oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe you just said, but that's funny.
But I was thinking the same thing. You
know
what I mean?
Right.
You're
just like, oh shit, man, those are the funniest things. But oh my God, you couldn't say that before. That's what I love. So I think that's going to be great. It's a great thing. It's bringing people back, not just men, and it's letting women be women, not allowing men into women's spaces. We can go into a whole thing on that. I think, I'm glad that the trans thing is like, okay, let's push the brakes for a second. Hold on. Back the truck up a little bit. Slow down. I wish I had my Dos Equis can up, because I would say, once a man, always a man. Sorry, you can't put a new label on my Dos Equis, and call it something else when what's inside is still Dos Equis.
That's a very good point. I love that analogy. You're exactly right. And I think that, I think it started with Kill Tony or Hinchcliffe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We played that on another video before.
Yeah, we did. I was going to say we talked about that and how it was like, oh, did he go too far? But I think it really just kind of broke down the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or kicked a hole in the fence that, we needed to get through. And I think that,
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. We're taking it brick by brick, buddy. Now we're going to start knocking a whole section down and other sections and other sections down.
Well, and we talked about this thing too, is what, movies and concepts and stuff like that came out, 10 years ago that you can't do now because of all the feelings that are involved that you might offend somebody.
Not including everybody.
Yeah, over yourself. And
do we have to always include everybody all the time?
Right. And just appreciate it for what it is, whether it be a comedy, whether it be a scary movie or something. Appreciate it for what it is and stop having feelings like you need to be included in everything. Some conversations aren't meant for you, and it's fine, Yeah,
exactly. Well, let's wrap this up. But that was a good, good segment there showing what we have. There were some others that were pretty bad, but for the most part, I'm going to give the Super Bowl ads more positive thumbs up than negative, and I liked it. It was more this to this than this to this. So I think that we're starting to get back to what Super Bowl is supposed to be. For people who don't care for the game as much, at least they have the ads to entertain them. And I didn't like some of the ones that were just, so preachy. Don't preach. Don't shut the fudge up. When I say fudge, I mean fuck. Anyway, but I'm saying, come on, stop lecturing us, stop preaching to us, entertain us. Let's have some fun with this. Sell some product for hell's sake.
No kidding.
What we do. So. Anyways, gang, thanks for joining us on this. I hope you had a fun time listening to our take as a couple designers who do this for a living as well on what we thought of some of the ads here. And I know everybody in the world has been doing the takes on the Super Bowl ads, but we thought we'd do that as well, even though we're a little late on it. It's okay. It's all good because you'll be seeing these throughout the year. So anyway,
it's all fun. It's all fun and games. We love it.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.
Question everything, gang.